Cuisine feels really, really good, man.
Oh, it feels great.
I know.
Just like poured all over.
Here we go. So we've got Liquid HayprO versus Rain Spades, and the map is now starting. And HayprO is going to be the Zerg player, the orange Zerg at the top left-hand corner of Xel'Naga Fortress, and he's going to be up against Rain Spades, the purple Terran, at the bottom right. Make some noise, guys.
Yeah, there it is. Slowly, slowly, we're building things up over here at the qualifier stage.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Eventually, we will outdo the main stage.
We're going to be on the main stage tomorrow, man.
Oh, we're just gonna leave all of our brethren here at the qualifier stage
We're going to
behind?
take them along with us
Exactly.
for the ride.
Exactly. Now, Spades playing the purple Terran, and as many of you know, much of his power is derived from the color purple. He's always our purple Terran. And Spades, one of those players that trained in Korea, as did HayprO. HayprO actually lived in the TLOGS house for a while, training out in Korea. Managed to get Code A status in Korea. Spades actually just traveled out there to compete in GSL. It was a short-lived trip, came back, and he's actually going to be moving out local to us pretty soon here. I think they're going to be living in San Leandro at the Rain House, supported by IGN.
That is literally 1 or 2 blocks away from my house, man.
There you go.
Whenever I want to practice with Rain, I'm just going to like walk across and walk into their house and get some pro tips.
There it is.
It's going to be awesome,
And I'm
man.
sure they'd be welcome to have you over there anytime.
It's so sexy to have a pro gaming house in your neighborhood. I mean, how many people can actually say they can walk out and go to a pro gaming house?
That is pretty cool. I think the only other people who could do that are people who live in Arizona, because those are the only 2 pro gaming houses we have in North America.
Or if you live in South Korea.
Or South Korea. They're all over the place. But I think it's only a matter of time before we continue to see more and more pro gaming houses pop up, because really that's the only way that you can compete in today's day and age. You know, with players just putting in ridiculous amounts of time and training with the best of the best over in Korea. It's really the only way to compete. And, you know, as a whole, we just need to step our game up here in North America. We need team houses. We need smart, intelligent people living together, discussing strategies, and taking the game to the next level. And, you know, I've had a taste of that, but that's just with local friends who happen to also be really good at StarCraft. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like living with the best of the best and training strategies all day long.
Well, let's see what happens this game. Both of these players obviously coming from a background where they have a lot of experience in their pro gaming
Is there
houses.
a hole in Spades' wall?
I don't think so.
There totally is.
That may actually
If
be a
HayprO
hole.
realizes that, he could just right-click on the minerals and get in there, but
Well, he's going to replace that barracks and finish that wall off, it looks like. So now that is Zergling proof. And we'll have to see what HayprO does with this game. He did open up with Hatch and then Pool. So getting that gas down right now as well. And on this map, once again, we have the expiring Xel'Naga Tower. And we'll just have to see if this is going to go into a late game or a quick one.
Well, right now we have HayprO grabbing an early natural here, and he's pulled everything off of gas. He does have speed on the way, so he's just going to grab the early speedling upgrade. Actually pulled off perfectly. He doesn't have a single extra gas.
Yeah.
Generally, you will see players get at least 4, sometimes 8, but reactor opener.
Topping it off.
Yeah. Reactor opener here out of Spades. Gonna get some early Hellions, trying to establish some map control, and he is going to land that Rax. No tech lab just yet, so not getting an add-on on the Rax as of now.
I don't know about you, Ping User, but I always top off my gas when I go to the gas station.
I do that sometimes. Depends on how much money I have on my card, right?
You know, fill that tank, fill that sucker up. Well, it looks like HayprO has gotten a spine crawler at the front door right now, so he's going to be prepared for Hellion harass to some extent. A lot of times when Zerg players get that spine crawler, they will just completely skip the Roach Warren and Leo of just holding off Hellions with Zerglings and a spine crawler or 2. And Spades is going out with a couple of Hellions on the map right now. He's gone for the Barracks, Factory, Expand, very common opening against Zerg. We'll have to see where this goes.
Yeah, he's probably just going to go over there and scout with these initial Hellions. He's also getting the tech lab right now on the barracks. This gives you the option to make a Marauder if the Zerg player is doing some kind of early roach pressure, and it also gives you the opportunity to swap it with your factory as soon as you're done producing Hellions. Now, Spades has actually produced 4 Hellions, and he's continuing to produce them. We have Hellions 5 and 6 on the way. Generally, you will see players stop at 4. I actually like the decision to get the additional 2 Hellions. It gives you that much more map control. It gives you that much more stability. And now we have HayprO giving chase here in mid. I don't know if he wants to do this right now. There are quite a few Hellions. He's going to lose a lot of Lings here. And with that, he's also going to lose all sense of map control. He has virtually no control over the map anymore. You see him kind of drop an emergency evolution chamber there at the front to further wall that off. And he does have 2 queens as well, so I think he'll be okay. But Spades could actually push around the left side of the natural if he wanted and sneak in there and shut down mining.
Yeah, if he wanted to, he could definitely do that. I really like how HayprO threw that evolution chamber right there as well to help prevent the Hellions from running in. But right now, Spades doesn't necessarily need to commit with the Hellions. The threat of the Hellions being on the map alone is enough for Spades to just grab that expansion, play it very safe, go into a macro mode on 2 base, and at some point, Spades could actually just move in with these Hellions, which it looks like he is going to do. And like you said, Pings, you're going to go around the backside. Now, he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to let these Hellions get caught, and at the same time, he's got to do enough damage, because once these Hellions go in, it's very hard for him to get out.
Yeah, he's really on a one-way ticket here. He's just going to try and kill as many drones as he can. He's killing a ton right now. HayprO losing virtually every drone at his natural. He only managed to get out of that with 4 remaining drones. Oh, man, but still, Spades only managing to bring it to a 30 to 29 harvester deficit for HayprO. So HayprO had been droning up real hard there, and he has the macro hatch, and he's going really light on gas right now. I think he's going to be able to re-macro, get those drones back, and it's not as big of a loss as you would think in normal situations.
Yeah, and you have to also remember, Spades lost a lot of Hellions with that attack. Now, a couple of things coming in here, and of course the thing here is with Spades attacking with all of his Hellions and losing them, he has no units on the ground. And with that, HayprO capitalizes, runs by the lowered supply depot, gets inside the mineral line, and it looks like he may get a couple of SCV kills, maybe 1 or 2. But the thing is, even though he doesn't kill that many SCVs, he can still just provide a lot of fear inside of Spades' base, and Spades has to deal with this and scramble units back into his main.
Yeah, Spades dealing with this could cause him to fall short in other areas of the game. He might not be focusing on his macro as much. He's got to obviously get these Lings out of space. Going to lose a few more SCVs here. Very well done right there by HayprO, just being as annoying as possible with those Zerglings. Once you get inside the Terran main, that's really all you can do is just be as annoying as possible. And he managed to keep them alive for a short while there. Now HayprO has certainly re-macroed and then some. 63 to 42 harvesters right now. That early macro hatch and only working off of 1 gas for so long has allowed him to recoup all of those losses, all of those drone losses, and now he can start adding those gases and really start to tech up here.
I really like this creep spread by HayprO, man. He is totally focused on this right now. He even has a dedicated queen out on the map. That's why I'm a big advocate of always getting that extra queen to just help spread creep, help defend against any kind of air units. And right now, HayprO is spreading the creep all across the middle of the map. And what that does is it lowers, it basically denies the Terran player from pushing into that creep, and it really halts the advance of the biomech.
And it looks like Spades is actually really worried about some potential Muta harass here. He's putting turrets up all over. This would be one of the standard timings for Mutas. We're a little bit late, actually. We're right around the 11-minute and 30-second mark. So maybe he just has this so ingrained into his build that he's not really adapting it based on what he sees. But from what I've seen, HayprO has no intention of going Muta, and there we have the infestation pit going up right as the layer finishes. He's also getting heavy upgrades on his evolution chambers. Carapace level 2 on the way right now, and melee attacks level 1 just finishing here.
Man, HayprO is really taking a page out of Red's book here, which doesn't surprise me as they are on the same team. HayprO has already maxed out his drone count, 72 right now. He had that maxed out around the 11-minute mark, so he's really got a booming economy. And at this point, this is when the Zerg wants to start to transition into cycling all of their larvae into actual units that can fight, and really HayprO's got a big advantage in terms of economy, and the longer it can delay Spades from grabbing this third, the further ahead he really gets.
I agree with you. Spades just now loses that fresh mule at the third right there. That does suck indeed, and he is going to try and get this third online here. He's creating a wall from the natural over towards the third, which is going to make dealing with these counterattacks much easier. And I know we just casted a series with Trimaster where he wasn't doing this at all. He didn't utilize the building positioning here towards the middle of the map. I really like Spades' unit positioning. he's in a very good position to hold off any potential counterattacks.
We may have an attack here from HayprO. He's gonna move in, and he's gonna go in before the wall completes, runs a bunch of lings in. Is the supply depot gonna raise a beautiful response from Spades? And all those lings are going to get trapped with nowhere to run. But at the same time, it looks like Spades has a couple of Zerglings at his third, but he cleans that up pretty well as well.
That is exactly what happens when you are prepared to deal with the counterattack. Great positioning from Spades. I love his unit positioning. I love his marine positioning, building positioning. But like you said earlier, HayprO doing a great job macroing right now. His creep spread is phenomenal. He has creep all the way through the middle of the map, almost touching Spades' third right now. Spades hasn't really done anything to deny this. And also, I know we mentioned this earlier, a lot of players have been forgetting Combat Shield. Spades still doesn't have Combat Shield. We're at the 14-minute mark. It's not even in his production tab.
And that really limits the amount of time you can stem these Marines. Look, they're already red barred. Lings come in, pick off a couple of Marines. You know, anytime the Zerg player has creep spread this close to the Terran base, you were referring to this before, it's not comfortable.
No, it's not comfortable at all.
It's a free highway access for the Zerg to just flood units in, attack the third at will, and if the Terran ever decides to push out, he's got to slowly and methodically scan the creep, pick it off tumor by tumor, unless they want to do some kind of a suicide run across the purple stuff.
Yeah, and also, you know, lings and banelings with speed just so much more effective when they're on creep.
Yep.
It's like they have ice skates on, man. They just slide right into your army and detonate much faster than you would normally expect, and that's why we see a lot of Terran players unwilling to push. Oh, and that drop is going to get cleaned up very, very nicely by HayprO right there. Does no damage, but that's why we see a lot of Terran players, especially good Terran players, very hesitant to push beyond the creep. It's almost like that point at which you're forced to stop your push and then slowly commit from there and just pick off tumors as you move along.
And for a Zerg player, man, I can say it's like the buffer zone. It's our little comfort zone, and it gives us more time to react when that dreaded Terran
scouting information as well.
Now, the one thing, though, that really looks kind of bad for HayprO is if we look at that supply tab, Spades has pulled way ahead. He's at 185 over 138, and I'm not sure why HayprO's army isn't quite there, man. He's got a lot of lings on the field. He's going into Hive Tech right now with Adrenal Glands, 3-3, Ultralisk Cavern as well, but it seems like his supply is so much further behind than Spades.
His supply really has dwindled so much. I mean, he was ahead going into the mid game there, and I'm actually glad you just pointed that out to me because he's fallen way behind in this game, and I don't know whether he's been missing his larva injects. Look how many
4,000 minerals saved up.
And look how many larva he has waiting at his base. I think he's just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting with bated breath for that ultra transition. But I mean,
he doesn't have enough gas to even do that, man.
He really doesn't. He has enough gas to get out a few ultras, but the push from Spades is coming at the perfect time. This couldn't be any worse. And a scan goes down right on top of those infestors with full energy. They all get taken out. Oh my goodness, that is not what HayprO wanted to happen.
And HayprO right here, going into a backup contingency plan, is going to go for a Nidus Worm. I guess he doesn't want to deal with that push outright, and he just wants to try to circumvent that by going right into the Terran main. I can't really blame him because he was so far behind in supply for a long time, but now he has started to invest all of his larva into Ultras, Lings, Infestors. He has quickly caught up in supply. However, he has lost all map control in the middle.
Yeah, he certainly has. That creep spread that we were patting him on the back for and heralding earlier is almost completely eradicated. There's no creep left on the map except through that northern passage, which neither player is really using at this point. Spades just slowly moving in like a boa constrictor right now, working his way into the natural, knocking on that front door. The first ultras are just starting to pop out here, and let's see if HayprO can make a move.
And HayprO's going right in with his Ultras and Lings, but he has no Baneling support. All of his Infestors get popped. He has no Fungal Growth, no Banelings. The Marines are ripping through the Lings and Ultras. But I think, HayprO with those 3-3 upgrades destroys the entire Terran army.
Beautiful flank right there from HayprO. I thought he was maybe just a tad bit late with the flank, but he still managed to clean up that entire push, and now he's working his way into the third, gonna force a lift there. No, he actually gets the orbital. That's huge for him. The third has gone down. Spades forgets to lift off his third. That's a huge mistake on his part, and wow, these 3-3 upgraded Lings and Ultras are just ripping their way through the natural right now. HayprO with a tremendous comeback in this game.
And unfortunately, these Marines don't really share the same upgrade advantages that the Zerg does. Those Marines are completely armorless, so these Lings and Ultras are just tearing through everything. It looks like they're still going unopposed, and Spades has to GG.
Wow.
You know, for a moment there, I was like, what is HayprO doing? He's